This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit the Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
Hey, it is Ryan Seacrest. There's something so thrilling about playing Chumba Casino. Maybe it's the simple reminder that with a little luck, anything is possible. ChumbaCasino.com has hundreds of social casino-style games to choose from with new game releases each week. Play for free anytime, anywhere for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows, and we typically feature a beer of the week. I am Matt. With me, as always, is Lauren. And if you are new to the show, please go ahead, like, subscribe, share, follow, comment, review, whatever it is to your heart's desire. It could be a 1, it could be a 10, it could be a 5. You can tell us whatever your heart desires in those comments or reviews. Just do it because it helps the podcast grow. We typically start off with our beer of the week. We go into some what we're reading or watching, what we might have messed up on this week or looked into, and then we go into some news before our main topic, which our main topic today, in honor of the great return of Michael Keaton to this film, it is Beetlejuice. We are talking about Beetlejuice today, which is going to be exciting. We are both wicked excited for the film this week. So to kick things off, let's go ahead. My beer of the week, I chose it because the can is the color of Beetlejuice. It's black, green, and purple, even though it has a pufferfish on the front, but it's from Tox Brewing Company. It is called Summer Fugu, and it is from 12% out of North Haven, Connecticut. Actually, I've never heard or had this before. So Stacy, who's one of our patrons, if she's had it, maybe she can let me know a little bit about it, but it's pretty good. It's a nice little 6% IPA. Very happy with it. Nice and juicy. It's the kind of the unofficial kickoff for spooky season with us. I kind of put it in my Universal Monsters glass. And spooky season's here. It's September. Maybe where you're at's getting a little colder. Mine's not getting colder, but the leaves are starting to change. Pumpkin spice is out. And as far as I'm concerned, we're diving into the horror movies. So Lauren, what are you? Wait, hold on. Before we get to Lauren, she got to do a whole Peep the Fit. This one's for you.
So, yes, I have a Peep the Fit. I got this at Spirit last Halloween. It is Beetlejuice. It has a cute little tie. My husband has a coordinating one. Great for horror nights. Or for just a night out on the town, however you might feel this spooky season. Actually, Beetlejuice isn't even a Halloween movie. We always played at Halloween, so we associate it with Halloween. But it's
really not. It could be watched whenever, because at no point are they like it's Halloween time. They don't really specify. I mean, it's really not.
Is your beer is it the brewery that has the cute little tree frog?
It is actually, yes.
I really like that brewery. I had a friend, actually Tim, who we ran into at Beer Commission when you were here after MegaCon. He's brought me back beer from New England before, and that was one of them. And that was a really good, it was really good beer. I didn't have that specific one, but it was really yummy. So the beer I'm drinking is a Tripping Animals. We are back to normal, where I have a Tripping Animals beer and you do not. It's got a cute
I had one in my fridge. I almost grabbed it.
On it.
The llama in my fridge.
Figure this is a kickoff to Halloween season, even though I just said Beetlejuice isn't Halloween. It's September. It's the month before October. We're kicking off. We're getting ready. We got Beetlejuice in theaters next, soon we're going to have Agatha out. So I'm going full pumpkin.
18. Yes.
I'm always hit or miss with the pumpkin beer. Like when they're overly spiced with nutmeg and everything. This one is fantastic. It's called Pumpkin Delish. It's DELIZ.
Pause.
It is a brown ale brewed with pumpkin and spices. I like when they do brown ales. Ivanhoe's pumpkin is a brown ale as well, and I feel like that helps too, because I feel like when they're
love
too
a good
light,
pumpkin brown ale.
Overtake it. Yeah.
Well, I think with the pumpkin brown ales, the reason why I think that just fits I feel like that just fits kind of the mold, I guess you will. Something about a pumpkin brown, it just fits more than a pumpkin sour. Like I'm not big into like the whole A pumpkin sour doesn't really jive with me too well. Something about
Most light ales or light lagers.
Yeah,
there aren't any other kind of light beers. They're either ales or lagers. But pumpkin, it burns out. It gets fermented, so it doesn't taste like pumpkin if you put actual pumpkin in it. So to make it taste like pumpkin, they have to add all the spices, and I just feel like sometimes it just gets like out of control. But I do have it in my Jack Skellington glass because there is a little Jack cameo. But and Logan today, I put on Beetlejuice, and Logan like saw the worm, and he goes, "Oh, that's the worm from Nightmare Before Christmas!" So he got really excited at that.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, we're talking Beetlejuice, man. Let's go into real quick though what we've kind of messed up on or looked into. So if you Patreons, we always shout out Scott, but if anybody who's listening who might not even a Patreon, just hey, you know what? Let us know if we've messed up on anything. We're going to follow up on Deadpool and Wolverine. And it is now number 26. It has beat out Iron Man 3. Thank God that movie shouldn't even been that high. And also the Minions. Who knew? Tracy's favorite movie now, the Minions, is beat by something.
And we're recording this Thursday. You're listening to this. The earliest possible is Monday. So who knows where it is?
I'm going to need it to stop because the next movie up on the list is The Fate of the Furious. And we can't have that. Okay? We can't have that. Not in my neighborhood.
So my other Deadpool update.
Oh, I have a Deadpool update as well once.
Okay. I'll tell this one and you can do that one and then we'll do the other two pieces. So Deadpool is still at Disneyland, and recently he made a joke that because he tells these stories that kind of mimic Cinderella and whatnot, but he puts himself in there, and he like Cinderella is Cinderpool, and he goes, Cinderpool was late because she was busy reading the terms and conditions of Disney Plus. Because she had signed up for Disney Plus. So Deadpool at Disneyland is literally, for anybody who's not familiar, there was somebody at Disney, I believe it was Disney Springs or down, I'm not sure. It was a restaurant at Disney, connected to Disney or on one of the Disney properties. I don't even know if it was a Disney restaurant, where somebody died because their meal wasn't allergy free.
Like yes.
And they're telling them, they have to abide by the rules that they agreed to when they signed up for Disney Plus. Move forward with like a lawsuit. Like I believe it's they
just went back on that and said because they started getting a lot of shit, and they're basically like, just kidding, haha.
Oh, good.
Move forward. Yeah, no, they were getting a lot of stuff.
Shocked that Deadpool said that, and then Wolverine goes, I don't get it, and Deadpool goes, they get it, and points like at all the parents laughing.
I did see. Yes, I was wondering, like, do you think he was allowed? Like, got clear? He had to have gotten clearance. There's no way
he had to have. But I did wonder that too. Some of the things he's getting away with saying though are out of control. Like, I got to imagine there's like a Karen out there that's complaining.
Guaranteed.
But maybe he's just bringing in more people than
Deadpool,
aren't.
Man. They probably gave this is their way of making fun of themselves and people. I feel like Deadpool's now like their way of getting snarky with people who complain about Disney.
I would like Deadpool's going full meta, full breaking the fourth wall, like in person. He's owned by Disney, and it's just insane. All right, give us your Deadpool.
So you know how I was making fun of my son's friends' parents last weekend for taking their kids who are like 10 and 8 to go see Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to point fingers. However, somebody in this household was like, well, I think our 8-year-old could go and see it. Now, I'm not pointing fingers, Carrie, but
what's
it wasn't my idea. And I was like, you should take him. She was like,
name was
to go see it. She showed him the trailer. She's like, how do you feel about that? Because it was the opening. We watched the
on Disney Plus
video. No, we watched the Bye 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 music video of the opening sequence, basically of him killing. He was like, all right. Because she was like, it's just, there's no like nudity and stuff. It's just a bunch of killing and cussing. Nothing he's not seen and heard before. And I was like, I mean, he maybe, but I'm not going to be the parent that takes him.
A lot of the jokes though are going to go right over his head. Like, I'm not a natural bot. Like,
yes,
it's going to go over some adults' heads, I feel like.
Well, so she took him. I didn't have a problem. I co-signed this. Okay. I'm not blaming her. I just was like, I don't think that I want to take him to go see this in theaters. I've already seen it twice. I feel awkward.
Nobody would judge you, but people would judge her just because she's the mom.
But they went, and he comes back.
Dad taking his son to the movies.
Nice father-son bonding time.
Yeah, whereas if a mom does anything questionable or judgy, people are like, "Oh my God, can you believe that mother?
Terrible mom! Oh, the women in this world these days. Go, blah blah blah."
Oh, look at that father being.
Yeah, he liked it. He was like, he came back and we're like, so how do you feel? And he was like, there was a lot of killing. I was like, they're damn right there was. And then I was like, what are your favorite parts? And he really enjoyed the bus scene was his favorite part. And then today in the car, he goes, can you bring me on your podcast to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine? I was like,
Jeez. I'm kind of curious the opinions of an 8-year-old.
maybe we'll do a short. Maybe we'll do like a little YouTube short. I don't know. We're not famous yet, so we'll have to scrub that if we ever become famous before Paramount sues me or gets rid of us or Disney says, now this isn't. But now it's like, where do we stop, right? Like he saw Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, where do we stop? Like, what can he not watch now?
Well, honestly, for me, because Brielle, I'm having Brielle go through them. So next up is X-Men First Class. And my only hesitation on not letting her watch the Deadpool trilogy is the first one. And it's just that it's mainly that sex scene. I have told her, like, because my one friend Brandy, she does have the Once Upon a Deadpool. She's in Fort Lauderdale though. So if she can't, get the digital code to me or whatever, because I don't think we're down there. I've seen these movies enough that I feel like I can edit it. You know what I mean? And like just catch her up on it. Like Logan is violence but it's no more cursing than she hears from me. And like Logan, I don't even remember there really being dirty cursing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there is some things like, pegging and things. Obviously they're not going to understand that.
Well, like you don't see that in Deadpool and Wolverine. You do see that in the first Deadpool movie. So I feel like
that's fair.
It is terrible too to say we're okay with violence and not sex, but
I guess like our biggest thing too was the fact that like if is one of those like if he sees a bunch of violence, is he going to start acting violent? But I was like, no, that's the dumbest thing. That's like violent video games turn people violent as school shooters. I was like, I don't agree with that at all. Well, so I don't think he's not running around saying swear words either. He's old enough to know like he shouldn't be doing this stuff as well. Like he's for an 8-year-old, like not to be like, oh, my kid's smart. He understands, like he has a very good grasp of right and wrong. He's a very sweet kid. So
right. And that's what it is because I did have a friend who, it's actually Erica's brother-in-law. His son was getting big into the superheroes and was getting a little violent, but he was like 5 and he just wanted to be the superheroes. And like, he couldn't understand that. So they had to cut him off a little bit, like very young. But yeah, once they're old enough, it's like the kids will be like, well, why are you allowed to curse and we're not? Because I know when it's appropriate and when it's not. You're not allowed to curse until you can differentiate that.
See, but that's a good thing to do as a parent. Like you explain to them why versus being like, because I said so. Like saying because I said so is stupid.
Unless they've asked a million times and you've already answered a million times.
Fair. But when you're like, well, because you wouldn't know how to handle yourself. We cut Power Rangers off even for a while because our kids would like want to fight for and whatnot after, and they didn't know when was the proper time to wrestle. But anyways, I'll hop off my soapbox.
Just give them
let us know if maybe taking an 8-year-old to Deadpool and Wolverine was too much. I'll take your opinion into account, but it's already happened, so it doesn't matter. Just let me know. I don't care. I'm just curious to know, like, do people think that's a little out of pocket or not? I don't know. I'm curious.
Well, I'm back and forth with Brielle, but I am gonna let her. But I'm making her watch everything before.
That's smart. See, that's smart.
So yeah, I said something the other day. I'm like, you haven't seen the Marvels, have you? She goes, no, you wouldn't let me because I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet. So watch Captain Marvel.
Then watch Captain Marvel, you little shit.
Exactly.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
So here is your Tim Stanley cameo. Last week we were talking about the Mafia movie, and I was like, it's the one where Johnny Depp, plays this real guy that got, was undercover and then like became a wise guy. And I was like, I can't remember the name. Tim will. So yesterday I got a random text from Tim that literally said, quote, I'm texting you Donnie Brasco for no particular reason, end quote. So see, I don't even need to Google some of this stuff.
There you go.
Wait for Tim to call us out. And my last piece of Let's Look It Up /mess up. I just want to mention the virtual run we are doing again. If you sign up by September 30th, they will mail you a virtual medal. And if you do that and you get the medal, when you do your run or get your medal, tag us in it and we will happily share that. I need to do a hashtag. Maybe we'll do like hopsgeekbooze maybe. If you want to do that virtual run and you don't know what we're talking about, it is to support research for DIPG, which is a pediatric brain cancer that is pretty much always terminal. A friend of mine lost her daughter to that. Her name's Haley. So that's why we are hopsgeekbooze for Haley. If you go to our Linktree, the first thing at the top is it'll take you right to our team and you can join our team. So
yes. And if you do sign up, your name goes into the thing. Obviously, I have to sign up still. So, but Lauren and Stacy were the last in there. I'm going to be signing up.
Tabby's in there now.
Tabby's in there. Our Discord folks are going to be signing up. You have a while. I'm always such a procrastinator. I'm sorry. It's just
you can even sign up in October because you have to do the run in October, which it's on our system.
You got 31 days in October. October's the best month, first of all. But
you don't get your virtual medal unless you sign up by September 30th.
We'll sign up still. And I think what we're going to do, number one, it goes to a good cause. Number two, this also we're going to do like a random giveaway. We may or may not have some pint glasses on the way. We might put a little, maybe something together. But if you sign up in our group and take part of this, we will randomly select a name from the group and do a little giveaway for you, because it means a lot to us and it's going to a really great cause. So yeah, if you want more information, go to our Linktree. I'll put the link in the bio here. I've also pinned it in like our Facebook group and stuff, and I'm going to keep sharing it out there. So help us out, and not even help us out, man. Like, let's do it for a good cause. And it's a great time of year. Work off some of that candy you're going to be eating too. You know, it's you make motivation. Some people work for motivation. What better way? Let's go into what we have been reading and or watching. Lauren, why don't you take us away?
So I reviewed 2 comics this week. One was The Hunger and the Dusk. This is by IDW Publishing. The main writer is G. Willow Wilson. This one I've been talking about for probably a year now. So they just came out with book 2, issue 2. It is this like apocalyptic world, but it's got humans and orcs and these like they have a common enemy.
You've been anemones.
I know, like Nemo. What
You've been really high on this comic book though. Like you don't typically like that fantasy type genre, but I know you've been talking about this one each month it's come out.
This is the one that when Ken first recommended I read it, because it was like one of the 3rd comics I think I reviewed for them. I was like, yeah, this got like orcs on the cover. It looks Lord of the Ringsy, which is not my cup of tea. But no, I fell in love with it almost immediately because they bypass the tropes. There's real feelings. People like have their feelings and they seem to express them in a healthy way, but they're still overcoming like so much generational trauma and so much generational prejudice and hate in this world that is dying. It's very interesting to see the dynamics of the orcs and the people, which are basically all people. It's not like the orcs are like it's literally just like 2 different types of people. It doesn't feel like it's orcs and humans. It feels like it's all humans. But yeah, I really like it. It's been really good. The other comic I reviewed was 85th anniversary. This is just a lot of fun. I'm not even going to say who wrote it because there's like 5 different stories there were 6 total stories, but it starts with Deadpool's head and Wolverine in the 85th century, and they're at a museum, and this tour guide is giving the most amazing tour of like old heroes, and they have like Kamala Khan's scarf, and he goes, this was Kamala Khan's scarf, she was able to do this with it, he ate off of it, that's why we have the term scarf your food down, that it like came from that. And then they go into this whole, but then you get a flash story with Kamala Khan, and she's actually like hung up the scarf and she's got a kid, but then they're like, please come back, Galactus is like trying to eat planets again, we need your help. And then it like goes back to like
as always
story. I know, and there's another old like story that's got like Nightcrawler, but it clearly takes place a little more so in the past, but they just go back and forth, and during this whole time Wolverine and Deadpool are fighting a bad guy in the future too. But it's a lot of fun if you're just looking for like a fun thing to not get attached to anything to celebrate Marvel's 85th anniversary. Grab that. Ooh, and like, do you want to talk your comics before we go into TV? We did read volume 4 of Something's Killing the Children. I'm going to go get 5 this week. That
very
4
great.
was
very
good. It went, that whole one, it was like the 4 or 5 issues that went into her past when she was a child and her parents died. That was really cool. So pick that up. They're making it, Netflix?
Yeah, yes. And James Tynion shared that he's writing episode 2 and 3 right now and stuff like that. So no casting really announcements yet, but it will be coming. And so I have read this week. So starting with Aliens versus Avengers, Hickman is writing this one. Like Ben Percy is writing the Predator versus Black Panther. This one is very, very dark. It starts off with Black Panther and crew, or actually I should even say it starts off with a Kree being strung up and having a chest burster had already come out, and the Kree died, and this group was like, well, I thought they'd be stronger. And so the group of Black Panthers led by T'Challa and his son show up, and basically at that point they see the xenomorphs and they kind of kill a few and hightail it out of there. Show now Earth. Xenomorphs have been let loose throughout the galaxy, Earth being one of the places. And one thing that's really cool is that Hickman really grasps how parasitic xenomorphs are, where they spread fast and they're violent and they're vicious and they're primal. And so Earth pretty much gets wiped out, taken over. There's one city left. We see our heroes have fallen, except for there's a city stronghold led by a very old Bruce Banner, who turns into Old Man Hulk. Captain Marvel is there.
Is Old Man Hulk, he's completely with it though? The gamma radiation hasn't made him go
well, he's like blind basically, but he is with it. Yes.
Why do they get everybody blind when they're old?
I don't know. I can't hear you. I'm blind. Yeah, he's blind basically. Valerian, I believe. Valeria. I don't know why I'm blanking on Reed Richards' daughter. She's there. Miles Morales is there and stuff. And I think there's a really cool sequence too, like not to get too I'm gonna spoil just a little bit. That was essentially a face hugger latches onto Miles's face, but he has a symbiote that attaches itself to this face hugger and able to control the facehugger, and then it reattaches it to Miles so he doesn't get infected. But now he becomes like some like mutated version, last hope against the xenomorphs, which was really cool. They introduced like, again, a lot of, they're all old, Earth has fallen. Now a lot of the mutants have left Krakoa and they went to Mars. They're like, peace out. Apocalypse is, there's a scene. Yeah, they dipped out. They said, I'm going to Mars. Apocalypse chose to stay behind and fight on Krakoa, and you kind of assume his fate is death, but there's a lot of cool characters, a lot of great art. Aside from that, Distillery Media put out White Boat #2 from Scott Steiner and Francesco Francavilla. This one's really good. It's like Lost meets a Shutter Island slow burn horror, where this character Lee, his brother died in a boat accident when they were young. He blames himself because he was supposed to have the bottom bunk, but instead he got the top. And if he had the bottom bunk, it would have been his brother Ward who lived. And so he ends up, he's a journalist. He gets invited to this boat, and where this picks up is he's essentially like, what the hell's going on? And they're these people that are explaining to him that they've built this ark. They're trying to advance humankind beyond. Everyone's always trying to advance humankind to pretty much survive forever. And so it's very trippy, very horror. There's Krakens, which is really cool, beautiful art. They go to the jungle, which is why it gets some Lost vibes. There's really sick sequence where there's this whole page spread of flesh being peeled off this body, and you see a brain, and the coloring is like a burst of red, orange, and it's very, very well done. So check that out. I did read the Hive Minds NYX #2 with Laura is the focus. She is Wolverine. She is badass. She is vicious. You got a little surprise. It takes place like at a nightclub. You know, the mutants are being hunted. They don't know by whom. And so that was really, really, really good. I really enjoyed that. Kind of, you can tell they are having fun with this issue because Laura gets let loose, and they really enjoyed it. And then the last thing that
Marvel run not long ago that was the same kind of thing. Like Miss Marvel was in
Mutant Menace.
We're being
it was like the Miss.
Again. It was one of them that Amon Vellani actually worked on. Which Amon Vellani is one of the writers for the 85th one.
Yeah, it's Mutant Menace was the one that she was working on actually. Yeah, which she was actually just at the Toronto Comic-Con, where she dressed up like what's her name from Something Is Killing the Children, funny enough, which is pretty cool.
I saw those. Didn't she have the
that's her. Yeah,
I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah.
Such a dork. So fucking awesome.
She's amazing. She's like the one celebrity I'd love to have on the show and nerd out about with for a while. But last thing
never gonna happen.
No. Last thing I did read was Frankenstein issue #1. It's Universal Monsters Frankenstein. This comes from Skybound Entertainment and also Image Comics. It is from Michael Walsh and Tony Mary Griffin. This one is really emotional. Like, Skybound and Image have been doing a really good job with the Universal Monsters series. Creature of the Black Lagoon was out, and Dracula. Both of those are all out. They're 4-issue runs each. In this one, it has like a very bright orange, flowery, exciting cover, but then you go into it, it's dark. There's this kid who's crying over his father's grave, and then some grave robbers come. Well, those grave robbers happen to be Dr. Frankenstein and his little minion, who's very creepy. It reminds me of the creepy little hunchback dude from 300. And so he follows them to see what's going on. Obviously, Frankenstein's born, and you get to see Frankenstein in the shadows. And just the way they did his face was very emotional. You can see the sadness on his face. You're led to believe that this kid's dad has become Frankenstein's monster, and it kind of ends there with a cliffhanger. I don't want to spoil yet. Very, very good. Very good. Check this out. 4 issues, like I said. And then I watched season 4, episode 1 of Only Murders in the Building. I will say, don't know how this show is 4 seasons in and continues to find ways to get better. The screenwriters need to put on a how-to TED Talk of how to do TV shows in Hollywood.
Add Paul Rudd and Meryl Streep. That helps.
Each season includes new people. This one has Zach Galifianakis and Eugene Levy.
I love him.
But it twists and turns. I'm not going to spoil it because episode 1 ends.
Oh yeah, and I just finished
very emotional.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched.
There's only 1 episode out so far.
Okay, I was a little hungover, and I was like, "Oh," but see, I messed up too because I forgot they don't release them all at once.
But then our Cantina Hour should be episode recaps of Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, I'll watch the whatever's out there. But yeah, obviously, I loved season 3. I did not guess. They make it so that you guess everybody. Like they set it up so you think it's everybody, so you really don't know. But I loved the twist with Meryl Streep, which I'm not going to ruin it right here.
It's some of the most clever writing ever, and the actors like Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez should
work so well.
Obviously, Steve Martin and Martin Short do. They've been in movies together, but add Selena Gomez in the mix and some of these other characters, and it's like, how do they work so well together?
And I love that they make fun of their relationship in the show too.
They do. They're very self-aware.
See, actually, the one thing I will say, and well, maybe I don't even want to say who I thought the killer was because I thought it was like out of left
Yeah,
field,
we'll
and I
save
was
it.
so wrong. And yeah,
Maybe
okay.
next week, this week's Cantina Hour. And then last thing I will say real quick is I have been watching Rings of Power season 2 and
Is it better?
not
Wasn't
great,
the first
Bob.
season bad?
The first
Wow.
season was so boring. And so far, the first 3 episodes of season 2 is more of the same. A lot of talking, nothing happening. Sauron's coming. No, Lauren.
That's all I remember. Even the trees walked.
Oh my God. The trees kicked ass. Okay. Okay.
The only tree
That's
that
all
kicks
I've got.
ass is fruit.
That's all I've got.
So have you heard of the show Kevin Can Fuck Himself?
No, you're the second person to ask me, and I don't even know what this is.
So if there's something you've been wanting to watch on AMC, but you didn't want to buy a service that has AMC, they're putting all their shit on Netflix right now. So Kevin Can Fuck Himself is 2 seasons. The main character is Alexis from Schitt's Creek. I think her name's Annie Murphy. And it's very interesting. I'm hoping, because I'm on season 2, and I'm hoping that it ends with a nice bow at the end and didn't just get canceled. So what it is it goes back and forth from a sitcom to a drama. So the sitcom, Everybody Loves Raymond feels, or King of Queens, where the wife is always the butt of the joke. It's all about the main character, man, advantage of everybody, but for a joke, it's all, it's all like, oh, lighten up, I'm just being funny. And then when he's out of the room, it instantly goes from this comedy laugh track, very lit up, to this dark, gritty, the laugh track's gone. She's feeling the repercussions of feeling like shit and being walked over. And so her plan is she's going to murder him.
Oh, okay. That's really cool.
It actually is really cool because you see it instantly. Like as soon as the show starts, it's like she's got laundry. They're playing beer pong in the living room, and they're calling her mom because she's like, oh, we have to do that and do this. And they're like going to have a big rager for their 10-year anniversary, even though that's not what she wants, but she always caters to him and he thinks he's so smart. But it's not just like, this is, so many sick. Oh, and it is the overweight, not as attractive guy with the very skinny, beautiful wife, which you see that in all the sitcoms. But it's not just that too. You also see like the best friends start to struggle with this, male lead, and you start to see like all the people that are being abused by this guy, and he's just there for laughs and just there for this. But just the switch from just the laugh track drama it's really cool. It's very artsy and very good.
I'll have to look into that because I like that premise.
Yeah, it's got some dark humor. Well, let me finish it and make sure it doesn't end on a shitty end and that they wrap it up nice. And then I will tell you to watch it.
Good, because that show One Day got rehashed because Sean finally watched One Day, that Netflix series that traumatized me for life. And I tried to tell him, but he's now traumatized too. I told you, Sean. Told you. Do we have anything else before we go into news?
Nope, I'm ready for some news.
Well, speaking of TV shows, how would you feel about a Ted Lasso season 4?
It wrapped up so beautifully, but I'm not against a season 4.
I want a season 4 because it did wrap up, but I feel like something was left unfinished in season 3. They did say that they're in talks with, Jason Sudeikis. They have, I can't remember her name. She signed back on. Phil Dunster, who played Jamie, is not going to be back due to scheduling conflicts, apparently. But I feel like there's still something that could be told here.
They set it up for spinoffs, I will say that, but I felt like for Ted himself,
I almost felt like maybe we do a spinoff, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I agree. I'm conflicted. Like, obviously I want more Ted Lasso, but I guess you're right. They kind of wrapped up Ted's story. So I would almost not mind having Nate and Brett Goldstein, running the club, and maybe Ted pops in and out randomly. But they did set up for spinoffs. Or maybe they go and build an American soccer club in this one. Who knows? Like, that could be a fun thing because American soccer is
just
like what if they're trying to build the U.S. men's soccer team that sucks so bad? I don't know. There's lots of possibilities, but I'm open to it. We'll see.
So did you know there's a Lego movie coming out with about a Pharrell Williams biopic, and it will be in theaters October 11th, called Piece by Piece? And Kendrick Lamar and Snoop Dogg are going to be part of it. I don't know.
Lamar just diss tracking everybody?
I have no idea. I don't know. I was kind of like, what? I'm like, well, it's Lego, so I guess I'll put this in. So
I got some questions about that because that seems weird. Like, what an odd pair. I love Kendrick Lamar, obviously. I really enjoy, Snoop. I can't say that I love Pharrell Williams. Is it going to come with a big hat? I would love to know. Is the Lego character going to be a big hat?
Maybe. We'll see. October 11th in theaters.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see. In theaters?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what else is coming to theaters that they showed pictures of?
What?
The new Jurassic World Rebirth will be in theaters July 2nd, 2025. Now, I feel like that's going to move. because July 2nd is Jurassic Park, July 11th is Superman, and then the following week is Fantastic Four. I feel like those are going to move. Like I have a feeling Fantastic Four is going to go to August. I feel like Jurassic Park's going to push to close to Memorial Day in June.
I don't know if they got 4th of July weekend though. They might stick with that.
True. Something I feel like I don't know. I will say that I am not excited because the last two Jurassic Park films, primarily the last one that came out where we finally get to see Jeff Goldblum, Dr. Grant's back, Ellie Sat, like they come back and then it's just about crickets. Not excited, but this one apparently is about Scarlett Johansson's character. The dinosaurs are dying off. They're not built for this world. They're surviving in tropical climates. She's trying to get some dinosaur blood to essentially help solve a disease in humanity. Okay. I saw no shots of dinosaurs from the stills they released, but they love themselves that red flare scene. So I guess we'll see. I can't say I'm excited at this point for a new Jurassic Park movie, which sucks because I should be excited to see dinosaurs on screen. But are we going to get dinosaurs? We barely did in the last movie. So here I am.
Well, Ryan Reynolds teased the fact that Gambit is still alive in the void. If anybody hasn't seen it, there is a clip going around where you see Gambit just walking over all the dead bodies. And then he kind of looks into the camera and you see that little like red in his eyes kind of flare on the screen. And I wonder, like, is this being shared now, weeks after the movie came out? Because one, they didn't have a green light to bring Gambit back and now they do. Or was it because Ryan Reynolds was very adamant they weren't
very reminiscent of when somebody leaked a Deadpool screen test, right?
Yeah, right. But he didn't even pretend like this was an accident. Ryan Reynolds himself posted this. This didn't.
I know. I'm just, and you saw it looked like the ring, the sling ring thing from Doctor Strange was reflecting off of his skin. So
he said sling ring magic or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm just saying.
I watched on my phone. Maybe I need to watch on a big screen. I assume the glare in his eyes was because he has red eyes in the comics.
No, that was the Doctor Strange Circle of Trust.
So I'm not gonna get him. Well, it's not Doctor Strange anymore.
Well, we don't know.
At least,
it still is.
Oh, maybe it's Doctor Strange with the lady with the third eye, the Charlize Theron.
Yeah, Charlize Theron.
Maybe he's going to help stop an incursion.
I just wish Marvel would stop bringing in characters and forgetting about them for 16 years. But Shang-Chi was supposed to be the lead in the Avengers movie before they scrapped that whole idea.
I'm okay as long as they eventually bring them back. We've gotten Hercules, we've gotten Blade, we've gotten whoever the hell Harry Styles was, who I already forgot. Oh, Thanos' brother. Yeah,
they aren't even moving forward with an Eternal sequel. Stop.
And Patton Oswalt was the little dude.
Oh yeah, the little dude.
He's like a troll kind of or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's in random comics.
It's obviously Gimli. I don't know. It's not Gimli. That's from Lord of the Rings. Just to be clear, before you get excited.
I know it's not Gimli because I would know the name if it came up. I'll hear it and I'll be like,
I don't know. Well, quick pieces of movie news. Borderlands came out on August 9th in theaters. It got 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. And guess what? It's already out on digital. So watch at your own risk. I wouldn't pay money for this movie if my life depended on it. But a movie I am very excited about is Sonic 3. The trailer is out. It will be in theaters December 20th. Keanu Reeves is going to be in this movie as well. These movies have no business being as good as they are, and they are not talked about enough. I love these movies. My kids love these movies. I can't wait for some Sonic 3.
So Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, has released a trailer, and it will be in theaters on September 21st and September 25th.
How emotional was that trailer?
I didn't watch it because I heard everybody got really emotional.
You didn't?
So I'm like, I'll just wait and watch it and save my emotions for that.
All right.
I'm backing off.
It's very sad. Spoiler alert. I kind of am too, actually.
Trailers. Even I saw there was a new Agatha one. I'm like, I think I shared it, and I'm like, I'm not even going to watch it.
That's smart.
Just Deadpool and Wolverine would have been better if I hadn't watched every fucking trailer.
Well, Marvel Comics might help our podcast out because there is a Marvel Comics for Dummies that is coming out February 2025 for people who want to get into comics or maybe are interested in seeing where these stories come from, but don't know where to start. This is going to break it down for you. And honestly, I'm probably going to buy it so we can do some more deep dives in this podcast. And I think it's a great way to get people into comic books. Might put us out of a job, but maybe not. Who knows? A job. We get paid for this. Yeah, right.
Anyways.
Yeah, right, buddy. The 3 people who listen to this show are going to be like, oh, well, I don't have to listen to them anymore because they got Marvel Comics for Dummies.
Yeah, I'm just going to read those books instead. No, what we're actually going to do is we're going to have this week, chapter 1, and we're just going to read from the book.
Oh, that might be fun as we sit next to a fire. We're going to sit around a nice fire. All right. That's what we're going to do.
We'll change every 10th word so we don't get sued. Because we both have Disney Plus, so we do have to abide by those terms and conditions.
That's right. I don't want to choke on something and then die and then Disney not want to pay out because I was subscribed to Disney Plus.
It's not funny. It sucks. Okay.
It's funny, but not funny.
I'm glad they're pulling back. I mean, Deadpool's making jokes about it. Oh, so this next piece of news is utter garbage. The horror show. The horror show, literally and metaphorically, that is called Pooniverse.
Yes.
Getting a Pinocchio movie. I think you had mentioned this before, but
yes, they're making like an Avengers style Pooniverse of blood and honey.
It's called Pinocchio Unstrung. I think really the only one I feel like
they're also doing Bambi.
Right. And I'm fine with all that. I'm just not okay with Pooh Bear. I think that is my line.
I'm okay with Pinocchio stabbing everybody with his nose. However, Winnie the Pooh, that's where I draw the line.
All right, what's your last piece of news? Because I was actually too old
for this. Frozen 3 and 4 getting made at the same time. At the same damn time.
I was reading the next piece of news.
Yes, my last piece of news is for anybody who grew up watching Selena Gomez and getting her start on Disney. The Wizards of Waverly Place sequel will premiere on October 29th on Disney Channel. First 8 episodes will release on Disney Plus October 30th. So if you were a Wizards of Waverly Place, I never really got into it, but somebody out there might be into it. Selena Gomez, she's hot topic all the time.
Put it in there.
I've watched. I was just at too old, but I have seen some episodes because it would be on Disney Channel and somebody in my household would be watching it. So I am relatively familiar. She is a witch. They're a family of magicians. So anyways, finally, folks, I told you about an hour ago that we are going to be talking about the 1988 film Beetlejuice. So we will be right back in just a moment to finally bring to you Beetlejuice.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit bmwusa.com for details.
How to have fun, anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
It's showtime. It is indeed the 1988 film starring Michael Keaton, Wynonna Ryder, Alec Baldwin, who we all completely forget because he looks so different in this movie, Gena Davis, Catherine O'Hara, and more. And a brief recap is Barbara and Adam Maitland are a happily married couple just trying to make their house a home. They talking about having a future. Then they tragically die in a car accident after swerving to not hit a dog. Oof. And then it's when they find themselves stuck in their home, but as ghosts. This is when the Dietzes move in. They're a not so happily married couple with their very goth and miserable teenage daughter. Enter Wynonna Ryder pre-shoplifting. The Maitlands try to scare them out of their home. However, it seems to have the opposite effect of what they wanted. As such, this attracts, you guessed it, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Spirits, yes, who is grossly hilarious with an evil side, played by Michael Keaton. He decides to help the Maitlands But then they quickly learn that they now have to help the teen daughter, Lydia, from the Beetlejuice. This is after her parents try to profit off of the Maitlands being ghost. Fortunately, they defeat Beetlejuice, spoiler alert, and all learn to live in the house together and help Lydia study for her math test. So, Lauren, why don't you get us some fun facts about this wonderful film?
So I actually did rewatch this today. Logan got sucked in, which I loved. I forgot how dirty it was. Like Michael Keaton, even, and this is PG.
Oh, he's very...
Even at one point does the jerking off motion. He like turns away from them and I was like, whoa, I was like doing dishes and I was like taken back for a second. Okay, so yeah, fun facts. So the studio originally wanted to call the film House Ghosts. As a joke, Tim Burton actually suggested the name Scared Sheetless and then got nervous when the studio didn't actually hate the name.
Interesting. On March 10th, 1988, Netflix mailed out its very first DVD. I said 1998.
Oh, I heard 88.
No, it's on March 10th, 1988, Netflix mailed out its very first DVD. That DVD was actually Beetlejuice. I remember getting Netflix DVDs. You can get one at a time to start. And then you had to send it back before you got the new one. They came in the sleeves. You always would panic and be like, where did it go? I need to mail it back. It was very archaic back then. Okay, kids.
How excited would you get to go check your mail, though? Like, I get to watch when you were excited. Couple episodes of Dexter. Not a whole season, because there was only a few episodes on one DVD.
Yeah, but it was very exciting. Like, you got bills, you got Netflix, and you got the occasional birthday card. But Netflix was always there for you when you needed them most. And now they just cancel your favorite TV series. So.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Bummer,
so
dude.
Michael Keaton is actually only in this movie for 17 minutes, and it is rumored that the sequel will be a similar situation.
Did hear about that. So actually, Tim Burton talked about also why Alec Baldwin and Gena Davis are not in this movie as well. Spoiler, this Beetlejuice will not have either of those characters. Apparently, it's because he just didn't feel the story needed them. And that's okay. I think that makes sense.
Gena Davis made a joke that I don't think ghosts age, and they
look
aged.
vastly different. I mean, we got technology now, but yeah, like Gena Davis, man, I had a crush on her when I was a kid in this movie. Like, for some reason, I was
gorgeous. I loved her in Earth Girls Are Easy. You remember that movie?
Oh yeah. Alec Baldwin
and Jim Carrey.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I forgot Jim Carrey was in this one, or that one, I should say. Yeah.
Carrey and one of the Wayans brothers was the third alien. That's a great movie. So silly, it's so fun.
Like I said, Alec Baldwin was probably like 60 pounds lighter, and he looks very different in this movie as well. Like, it's easy to forget that Alec Baldwin was in this film at the same time. I also don't know if they all got along, but yeah, Beetlejuice, like Michael Keaton's not in that movie very much at all. And that's something that I forgot. Catherine O'Hara actually met her husband on the set of this. He was the production designer. They got married in 1992. And fun fact, they are still married, guys. Love sometimes does reign supreme.
So when Adam and Barbara are in the office in the afterlife and you hear a voice on the PA system announce Flight 409 is arriving at Gate 3, this is in reference to United Airlines Flight 409, which crashed into a mountain in Wyoming in October of 1955, killing all the passengers and the crew aboard.
Okay, that's dark, but kind of funny, right?
Yeah, it's very dark, but like, wow, you've got like some historical accuracy.
Okay, the darkness in my brain, if they do this again in modern day.
Okay, where were we watching something recently where they made like a 9/11 joke, and I was like,
I'm glad you were picking up what I was putting down, because
100%. It was a stand-up, I think. I can't remember what we were watching. It was some stand-up, and they made like a 9/11 joke, and there wasn't an ooh. It was just a laughter, and I'm like, are we this far away from 9/11 that we're no longer taking a minute to be like, oof? Like,
I
holy
think
shit.
we lost that a long time ago, I think.
I guess I was surprised at that. I did not.
I think like 2016 on has really ruined us as a society to where like no jokes are too far almost. I'm not going to say no jokes.
I thought maybe it was because there's adults who don't remember 9/11 now, or
there's kids joining the military who were not alive when 9/11 happened, which is very.
My daughter's about to be 21 and she
That's
wasn't
what I'm saying.
during 9/11.
My sister was born in 2002. She wasn't around. It's very weird. Very weird. So yeah, that. All right, midlife crisis aside.
In our, okay.
Glenn Shaddix, who played Otto, he's also the mayor in
Otho.
I'm sorry, you're right. Otho. I'm sorry. He's the very overweight, funny, like I'm too posh for this guy.
He's the interior designer.
Yes, he actually passed away in 2010, and supposedly the last song played at his memorial was Daylight coming, they want to go.
He's the mayor. I didn't realize he was the mayor in Nightmare Before Christmas. So, like, I quote him all the time.
Jack. But you can kind of hear his voice, though. Like, granted, he doesn't speak
very different
as much, but it's Tim Burton, and it's, come on, like, it makes sense because he likes to reuse people, but you can kind of hear his voice now that I'm singing Jack in my head. Like,
I'm only an elected official. So you can actually, speaking of Jack, you can see Jack Skellington's head on top of the merry-go-round that actually ends up on top of Beetlejuice's head. So you see the little Jack head. That's why I have my Jack glass. And I broke a big rule when I went to Horror Nights. I never wear Disney stuff to islands, but I wore my Jack Skellington stuff because, for one, it really matched this Beetlejuice shirt, and two, Jack is in Beetlejuice, man.
You honestly, I'm telling you, man, that's why I sent you the Jack Skellington performance hoodies. You know, you can rep the Roosevelt's brand performance hoodies. They're amazing. They're comfortable. They're not too heavy. They're very nice and light.
Yeah, I can't really wear Nightmare hoodie. I have one Nightmare hoodie, and I can only wear it at Christmas time if I'm lucky. Not if I'm lucky, because I like when it's hot, but if it happens to be cold.
Yeah. All right. Now, Betelgeuse is actually a red supergiant star in the constellation of Orion. I did not know this one. I
double
don't think I ever really looked. Yeah, I've never actually bothered to look into it, I guess, is my big thing. And then in the show community, during the first 3 seasons of the show, a character said the word Beetlejuice. In the 3rd season, an extra in a Beetlejuice Halloween costume walks by in the background. That's fun. That's deep cuts. I like when we talked about this, when shows do those type of callbacks.
Those are the shows that are the best to rewatch. I started Community. I think I watched like the first season. I believe it was Tim that recommended it years ago, like well over a decade ago. And it wasn't before everything was just streamed. And I think Josh had only downloaded like season 1 or something for me, but I should give that one another chance, because I feel like the clips I've seen and everything and what I did see then were pretty good. And Joel McHale, I think, is funny. I like him. It's
I do too, actually. Joel McHale's, he's always really fun, really good. Donald Glover, he was in Community.
Yeah, Donald Glover. And there was another one who I loved her in Mad Men. But okay, so despite this being PG, which we were talking about before we got into this, it did get an F-bomb in there because it's the 80s, and it was right when like the ratings were...
Look, it's PG. My 8-year-old saw Deadpool and Wolverine. Everything's out. You know, who cares?
Well, that was R. But this is also true of Spaceballs, Big, and Caddyshack too. And Spaceballs is also full of dick jokes. I mean, the whole Schwartz Be With You. I mean, the lightsabers are at their crotch. These are PG movies.
Well, the ratings, it was the 80s, man.
They distracted Beetlejuice with a whorehouse. He did the jerk off motion.
That's right. They totally forgot what is that thing like Showgirls Here or something like that. Yeah.
And that's how they got him to like be like not paying attention for a little bit. He's super like grabby, and he's very like toxic. Like he's 100% like Me Too. But what's funny,
he's a piece of shit. Yeah. He's getting canceled actually.
Well, he is a demon. He is the bad guy, so that's okay. But it's funny, when we went to like Universal a few years ago, I saw Beetlejuice, and so Josh and I go to take a picture with Beetlejuice, and in the picture, I need to find it and I should post it. He's like gesturing to me and like hitting on me and like being like ugh to Josh. Like he was in character. It was actually really funny.
I mean, I can respect that. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad. I'm like, nope, that's Beetlejuice. That's very in character.
So what's our last fun fact? Because this one, I learned a couple things with this fun fact.
Speaking of jerking off, Michael Keaton was not completely sold on Beetlejuice until he saw Pee-wee's Big Adventure and met Tim Burton, who directed Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
That's the best segue we've ever had in this show. Kudos to you.
Sorry, I don't mean to, speak ill of the dead, but who goes to it?
What else would one do in an adult movie theater?
I'm sorry, but like you have an adult theater. What do you expect people at least put spiders up? Or if they're creepy enough to watch that in like the public,
this is
who
before
cares what they're doing, man? Yes, if you don't know, Pee-wee once got caught in an adult film theater.
Anybody who doesn't know this probably doesn't know who Pee-wee is.
That's actually true. You're right. You're right. All right. Well, this next part, we're going to talk about the cartoon. We actually had Eric Lewald on the show before to talk about X-Men, and he was also one of the creators of this cartoon, which Carrie loves a lot. So why don't you tell us about the cartoon?
So the animated version ran from 89 to 91 on both ABC and Fox, which was not normal. It was loosely based on the movie, and it was developed by Tim Burton, who also served as an executive producer. The series, though, followed Lydia and her best friend Beetlejuice, and their adventures in the mortal
best
world.
friends is stretch,
and the
but...
Netherworld. So assume with this, which the Netherworld is the supernatural realm inhabited by various monsters. Danny Elfman did still compose the theme for the film and for the series. Obviously, yes, in the movie they're not best friends. Beetlejuice is a villain, is a bad guy in that. The cast were not the voices, and again, this was loosely based on what I just said.
That's true.
The whole series can be bought on Amazon via DVD. Also, as far as streaming, there are paid options on YouTube, Apple, and Amazon. I got like 2 minutes into it, and it is like Animaniacs, like extreme, like 90s cartoon. Like it's going to be exactly what you think a Beetlejuice cartoon in the late 80s and early 90s.
I remember like clips of this, honestly, and like I said, Carrie loves it. I barely remember it, but
yeah, it looked fun. I don't remember it, but it looked, as soon as I put it on, I was like, oh, I recognized it.
I do. I very much remember the animation style. I just remember like Beetlejuice's like funny boots, the way they were drawn. And like, it's very, very early 90s, late 80s kind of artistically done. But other than that, like
find the first episode.
He had like a mullet almost, looking like a green mullet almost is how his hair was in that cartoon as well.
I mean, yeah, it was like an exaggerated version of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is what
you know Beetlejuice is actually on Broadway? I believe it's coming to Richmond's Broadway. I actually would like to see this. This would be a fun one to watch on Broadway, I feel like.
It's really good. I saw this in New York a few years ago.
Well, the first performance was actually in the year 2018. It opened up on Broadway in 2019. They are now touring. Like I said, it's coming to Richmond, I want to say in September. It's also on a Norwegian cruise line and has made its way to Brazil, South Korea, and more international spots to come. The Dead Mom, all songs are on. Okay. Lauren wants this one. Go ahead.
Well, because I didn't put the details in this. So I did see this, I think 2 years ago in New York. It was absolutely fantastic. The mom is dead in this. So that's one of the differences. And there's a whole song about dead mom. And if you aren't going to be able to see this soon, but you're curious, all of the songs, you can find them on Spotify. I'm sure they're on Apple too. My kids, Brielle, listens to them so much that last year my Spotify replay had a ton of Alex Brighton, which was the Beetlejuice main character. So that was like my third most listened to after Radio Company and Blink because of Brielle. But they tells the whole story in the songs. It's similar, but it's also very different. And they did such a fantastic job. And there was even a clip where the guy went off script for a second and Adam Driver was in the audience and he looked at him and he said, "Hey, you killed Han Solo, not cool." But like he made it rhyme and it went with the words and it was really good. But that cast did such a great job. It's such a fun set. So if you do get the opportunity to see it, I highly recommend it. It exceeded my expectations. I personally thought like it was up there with Wicked for me, which I did not expect that at all. It was just you're so engaged the whole time. Like sometimes musicals will have their low points and their high points, and
sure.
I've seen.
If you're the Disney believe, then it's a lot more low points than it is high points. But...
there you go. The Disney believe is a show on a couple of the Mickey boats.
God, that was awful.
But then the Frozen show on the Mickey boat was phenomenal, and the Rapunzel show on the Mickey boat was phenomenal. But yeah, Beetlejuice, you're entertained from beginning to end. It was so fucking good. I would see it again. It was so good.
Interesting. All right. Well, why don't we roll into the new film, or hold on, before we go into the IMDb description of the new film, what were some of your favorite parts of the original Beetlejuice film? Because for me, there's like a lot that stands out. I think like some of the scarier moments are when the whole dinner scene is obviously like the one big standout where they start singing. You get a lot of like the claymation style things going on. And Wynonna Ryder, I always loved her. Like I also had a crush on her growing up, like as her goth young self in this. And Catherine O'Hara is one that she stands the test of time. So it's great seeing her. And yeah, again, like I mentioned, obviously Gena Davis and Alec Baldwin are not in the new film because it just didn't make sense to force them into it, which I'm cool with as long as it makes sense in the grand scheme of the story.
I hope they get a mention though.
I'm sure they will. So the new movie we'll get to in a second, but yeah, like the parts that stand out were obviously the musical piece from the dinner table. They're the things that they do to the house. Beetlejuice, I always forget he's not in it very much because every time he's in it, Michael Keaton, this is the Michael Keaton wave. Like 1988 was Beetlejuice, 1989 was Batman. So it's just crazy that's even something I forget about.
Well, what's funny is when it ended, it's on HBO Max right now if you want to watch Beetlejuice. And when it ended, the next recommended thing was to watch Batman 89. And you see Michael Keaton as Batman and you see Joker, Jack Nicklaus as Joker. And Logan goes, that guy looks like Beetlejuice. And I'm like, which guy? And he points to Joker and he's like, Joker. And I'm like, fun fact, actually Batman is Beetlejuice. And like, look, I could see Logan's brain like.
Wouldn't it be funny if Jack
glowing.
Nicholson was in this movie in some regard or something like that? Like, hey, actually, and his like Logan's brain's just like trying to do the math.
You can't process it. It's too much.
But no, I mean, it's filled with a great moment. I think the waiting room scenes are funny when he's sitting there and he's like, and he pulls the number and he's like a million in line or something like that. All the creatures, like the makeup and the claymation, like I said, pretty great for the 80s. Like Tim Burton was, it was great. So what were some of the standout moments for you in this movie then?
I mean, Deo definitely is. I'm trying to think because like I don't remember the first time I saw this movie, but I don't ever remember
either
not knowing this movie.
Yeah, isn't that funny how that works? Like there's certain movies that you just kind of like you don't remember the first time, they just are a part of you in some ways.
Yeah. It's like I remember the feeling I had when the first time I watched Nightmare, but I don't even remember if I was in the theater or was at home. I just remember the feeling.
Right.
But I never remember not knowing Beetlejuice. Oh yeah, Deo is definitely 100% up there, and I feel like the scenes on the table when he's like little and sandworm, which the sandworm. It's so funny because too when I watched it again today and he has the newspaper and he's like sandworms are up by 13%. Like I feel like that's this year. Like sandworms are so hot right now. Like it's
Dune, man, Dune and the sandworms.
And then she comes in writing the worm.
Yeah,
Gena Davis does. So, she could have been in Dune.
For some reason, too, like I always forget that they actually die and they're the ghost in the movie until I rewatch it. And I'm like, oh, that duh. I don't know why that's one thing that just always. And I thought it was really like creepy, too, when they decide to like change their heads and faces because they're ghosts. They can do whatever. And he stretches his face out and they have like those really creepy styles going on. It's just that's really well done, even.
But it's all comical still. They do a good job of balancing it.
Very dark comedy, and there's scary moments. Like if you're a young enough person, like kid, my kids know who Beetlejuice is. They want to watch Beetlejuice, but I'm like, you're probably a little too young because they would have nightmares. I feel like
only PG.
Well, the thing is like my youngest daughter, like she loves the Grinch, but then all of a sudden decided that she's scared of the Grinch. So I'm like, if you think the Grinch is scary, let me tell you about Beetlejuice, kid.
Well, Logan didn't want. He goes, don't put Beetlejuice on, and he was just doing his homework. So I'm sitting there just assisting when he needs the assistance, and then I'm watching him get sucked in. I'm like, why are you watching Beetlejuice? You're supposed to be doing your homework. He's like, I'm trying not to watch it, and he kept getting sucked. But I was happy because he doesn't watch anything that's not animated, he loves watching fishing videos and videos about animals and stuff. But so I was happy that I'm also
he's watching something that wasn't that.
Right. I'm trying to get him to watch The Greatest Showman because that's what I want him to be for Halloween.
Oh, The Greatest Showman. Okay. We're doing Hercules in this household. I'm going to be Hades. Carrie's going to be
Meg.
No, I think she's actually going to be Hercules. And Harper's going to be Meg. My son's going to be Zeus. And then my anxiety-ridden dog, Hank, is going to be Panic. Our cat's going to be Pain. And then our white fluffy dog will be Pegasus.
Oh, that's perfect.
So that's our thing. But The Greatest Showman, that's a really cool idea. He could be Greatest Showman Deadpool.
Erica's trying to get everybody to be different Taylor Swift things. And she said if he's the greatest showman, that could be part of it.
Hey, I'm in. Call me.
He's talked about wanting to be something that sings. So that's why I'm trying to encourage The Greatest Showman.
Well, there you go. He could go ahead and be Beetlejuice then, because Beetlejuice is a musical.
But yeah, no. Oh, he sings on, but I don't have a video of that. Okay.
Okay. Well, hold on. Before I go into it. So this movie actually is rated 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. And,
it's not rated PG, I'm assuming.
It's interesting how like they didn't have rules back then, right? Like there were no rules, nothing like that. But it was overall like it made in the box office $74.7 million, which wasn't a lot then. But if you kind of go back now, it did pretty well for a 1988 film, which leads us to finally the sequel. So it's got 4 out of 5 stars overall. People tend to really enjoy this. This is one that we all remember fondly, leading us to the sequel, which is Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. It's Lydia, Wynonna Ryder. She's the mom to Jenna Ortega's character. They chose to go grandmother, mom, and daughter in this one. And so after a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter, Astrid, accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife. First of all, Jenna Ortega just typecasted as the goth girl, which she plays really well between Wednesday Addams and this, of course.
They're both Tim Burton.
And Catherine O'Hara coming back. Like, that's even dope too. I love her, man. I love this Catherine O'Hara songs we got going on.
Yeah, Tim Burton has like 10 people he just recasts for everything.
He really
Even
does.
Pee-wee was Lock or Shock. I think he was Lock.
Oh, I didn't remember that one either.
So Lock, Shock, and Barrel are Catherine O'Hara, Pee-wee, and Danny Elfman.
So, Danny Elfman, by the way,
characters.
I've like stumbled on his TikTok. I had no idea that he still
has it.
he does. It's really cool. He does concerts. I didn't know this.
Oh, I need to find it.
Yeah. I'll have to find it.
To me,
and,
he's the real Jack because he does all the singing.
Yeah.
No shame to Chris Sarandon at all. Like, they're both Jack, but like the singing, that's Jack.
It was, I didn't realize he did it. Anyways, Michael Keaton, Wynonna Ryder, Catherine O'Hara return along with Jenna Ortega. Now, Wynonna Ryder was actually 15 when she did the first film. She's now 36 plus 15, which is some math that I'm not going to do because I'm stupid. She said she never
not 36.
No, she said that she actually never thought Lydia would be a mom, and she expected to be a lonely spinster. What else does
But that wouldn't make sense with her ending though, because she was like at the end, she was, not wearing as much eyeliner and getting an A on her math test. So it would make sense that she,
Well, I mean,
part of her character development.
She's like 51.
She's 52 now.
52. There you go. See, look at that quick math, folks. Yay. What was one of her? How does Stranger Things tie into Beetlejuice? Because this is interesting.
So Wynonna Ryder had one condition when she first met with Stranger Things creators Matt and Ross Duffer for a role that they wanted her to play. And that was if Beetlejuice 2 ever gets off the ground, they'd have to let her take a break from the series to film it.
It's okay. They're never actually going to come out with season 5 anyways.
I mean, how do you not agree? Like, who doesn't want Beetlejuice 2?
I mean, you can't deny arguably like the main character of Beetlejuice 1, the opportunity to come back in Beetlejuice 2, which again is like arguably one of the most, I don't want to say influential, but well-known movies of all time.
I am curious. I am very much so looking forward to seeing this movie, which does come out this week.
Can't wait.
Just because like I really hope that they did a great job and did it justice, because I feel like Tim Burton's not a big sequel person. Obviously, Batman's different.
Doesn't. Yeah,
like,
he's really not.
He's very much in, as much as love Nightmare and I'm a big, give me more of what I love. Like, I don't really want Nightmare to be touched. I kind of wish Hocus Pocus hadn't been touched. Yeah. But it sounds like they're confident that I've
actually the social media reactions are out and they said it's not as good as the original, but it's still good. Which I think, as long as this day and age, if a sequel to an original, cult classic film is fine and good and entertaining, I'm taking that as a win at this point. Like, I don't think Michael Keaton would have returned if the script wasn't good, for example.
When I got a 3-minute standing ovation at the premiere in
Venice. I don't believe in those because how many crappy movies have supposedly. Anyways, from the interviews, it actually sounds like this is not a very CGI heavy film, more practical effects and puppets. They all, which including Tim Burton, had a great time making it. Again, I wouldn't expect anything less from Tim Burton. I feel like he would obviously pay, practical. Just it stands the test of time most of the case, and I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, and I saw an interview with Jenna Ortega today where somebody said there was a picture of them lined up and it looked like the Avengers, and she's like, "Oh, that's funny because when all of us were in the same room together, the main cast, Tim Burton would say, 'Avengers assemble.'"
I like that. I also saw this thing today where there was like a red carpet spot where somebody taking a picture, Wynonna Ryder was like, "Take off your sunglasses." And Jenna Ortega was like, "No, you don't have to do that." And so she didn't. And I'm like, wow, that's hard. In like today's Hollywood, I guess, like somebody telling you to do something. And Jenna Ortega was obviously younger. She's not so much up and coming anymore. She's very much a household name, but to have the power to be like, no, telling Wynonna Ryder of all people, like, dude, don't listen to them. You wear those sunglasses in these pictures. Who gives a shit?
Josh always tells me that. Take your sunglasses off so I can see your face in the picture.
Like, I think you don't have to.
I think that might just be a preference thing where somebody might prefer their sunglasses on. I mean, especially if you're meeting, people get emotional and stuff. You might want to shield that, or
also,
the sun in your eyes, and it's hard to keep them open. But I think that for some people, it's like, oh, you're going to want your full face in this picture. This is a big opportunity, because that's what Josh will regularly be like, take your glasses off, because I always have sunglasses on outside.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Like, if I could wear sunglasses, I would obviously have them on too, because like you're always squinting, and then maybe for some people who are very self-conscious about wrinkles, maybe that's another thing. Like, my eyes closed are wrinkly.
when I was had to get reading glasses when I was like 23, the eye doctor said I already had sun damage. So that's when I started wearing
That's
sunglasses.
the other thing. You need to protect your eyes, man.
Yeah.
Some last things I do want to touch upon before we wrap up this episode is that the film actually had a $15 million budget. So making 74.7, it was a commercial success. And it actually won the Academy Award for Best Makeup and trio of Saturn Awards for Best Horror Film, Best Makeup, and Best Supporting Actress for Sylvia Sidney. The film's success spawned obviously video games, the musical, all that kind of stuff. And the final thing we shall leave you all with is the fact that this film is due to release. Beetlejuice will release this week. They say September 6th. We all know September 5th, that Thursday, is when everything starts to happen at 3 p.m. And aside from that, you can get a nice sandworm popcorn bucket at your participating theaters. And I'm loving this age of popcorn buckets. Speaking of, popcorn buckets and Michael Keaton, they're bringing back like that. You saw the bat signal at AMC theaters.
So
I need to find one, pull in, it lights up and everything, and it looks.
There's not even a Batman movie in theaters right now.
Well, for Batman Day, which is September 20th, they're bringing Batman 89 and a couple Batman Mask of the Phantasm and one more. They're bringing those movies back to theaters for one day on the 20th because Batman Day is that time frame. And so that Saturday, I should say, they're bringing it. So the 21st, I want to say, is Batman Day. And so they're bringing those movies back. That's what the Popcorn Day is back. It's like his 85th anniversary or something like that. So it's really cool.
Is it Batman too?
Batman has, I don't remember. I could be mistaken, getting them mixed up, whatever. All these brooding superheroes are the same, right? Every superhero's parent who dies, they're all the same. I don't know what to tell you, folks. However, I'm excited, man. I got to get my hands on this popcorn bucket.
1939. I think you're correct.
I have a feeling maybe. We'll see.
That math seems to add up.
The math is.
Math is mathing.
Do we know what we're doing next week yet?
Penguin.
Oh, that's right. We're doing Penguin because the HBO Max series is getting ready to drop. And the fact that this is going to be like hour-long episodes, it's going to be cinematic. This looks great. Colin Farrell's coming back. We're playing in Matt Reeves' universe again, which might hold us over for a little bit longer, giving us that taste. We're going to dive into the Penguin comic book origins to give you some background on our little Oswald Cobblepot. Make sure to tune into that. We have some. Oh,
he's in Kevin Should Fuck Himself. Okay.
Oh, is he?
The one from Gotham. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, he apparently played a really good penguin. Gotham never really tickled.
He played a fantastic penguin with some serious mommy issues. He did phenomenal in that.
Mommy issues, superheroes. Gotham has a lot of things going on. But yeah, get ready for that. Make sure to follow us. We have some creator interviews coming out. We're going into spooky season here soon, so that's our favorite time of year. And aside from that, man, just follow us. Thanks for hanging out. Nerdinitiative.com is where you can find our comic book reviews if you want to read in depth about the comics that we are reading. And aside from that, Cantina Hours is our live, get together bullshit hours. Patreon, in September, we didn't do one in August. Things got away from us. September, we are going to try to do our Patreon movie nights where we try to do it each month. So you can support for as low as $1 a month and everything goes back into it. We have some cool new stickers coming. We have some pint glasses coming. Lauren drew a really cool new fun logo that Patreon are going to get first crack at. You get ad-free episodes and everything like that. So thanks for supporting the show, everybody who already does. And until next time, we will see you guys later. Beetlejuice.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
Every day when you log into ChumbaCasino.com, the ultimate online social casino, you get a free daily bonus. Imagine if you got daily bonuses in other parts of your life.
I chose French fries over loaded French fries.
I asked Stuart from accounting about his weekend, even though I don't care.
I updated my operating system without having to call tech support.
Collect your free daily bonus at ChumbaCasino.com now. And live the Chumba life.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive, versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit bmwusa.com for details.
How to have fun, anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to chumbacasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.